Hello everybody and welcome back to the Brick Den. I was having some technical difficulties there, so I've had to switch over to a different event sort of stream because that one just wasn't working for some reason, but hopefully get the stream underway. I'll just go and leave a message in that other stream to make sure people come over to this one, so I'll just be one moment. So yeah, sorry about that, but just be one moment while I just leave a message in the other stream. Just make sure everyone knows I've switched over. I've no idea why that wasn't working, but something went terribly wrong. Oh well, I can't. I can't seem to find out what happened to that other one, so we may as well just start this stream off now properly. I'll just wait a moment to let everyone else drop in, but hopefully you can all hear me okay. Is it fine? Seems to be working for some of you. Is it? Can you hear me all right? I'm not sure if the sound quality's all right. I can't turn up the sensitivity too much because my laptop has got quite a loud fan, so that is an issue. So hopefully you can hear me all right. So the plan for this live stream really is just to do some work on Kamino and also answer some questions from you as well. Now what I can do is switch over to a different camera, as you can see, and then I can show you more of the building process. So I'll go and start building right now. I'm just moving this chair back. So hopefully you can still hear me all right when I'm over here. I just need to get the chat up on my iPad over here because I can't see my laptop. So can you all hear me all right when I'm over here as well? And to unknown, yes, I did just start. I was having some technical difficulties with my previous stream plan. BJN says, what is the best place to buy certain Lego pieces? Well, for that I'd certainly say Bricklink, probably. But if you're lucky, the Lego store does have some good pieces occasionally on the pick a brick wall. But for me it just isn't practical because the nearest Lego store for me is about an hour away, so I only can really ever go to the Lego store when I'm visiting somewhere that has one. I'm using OBS to run the stream. That may have been what was causing the problem with the event that I set up, but hopefully it's all working fine now. And Ghost of Messiah says it sounds fine, so hopefully it's working. Okay, so what the plan is for this stream is you can see this area up at the front here. I want to get that tiled and then also work on some of the pillars. You can see I'm prototyping a little bit here at the moment. Now this area is all stood not on top here. Well actually, something I probably should talk about before is I've jumped quite a lot forward since the last update. So if I just spin the MOC around, you might be able to see a little bit more of what I've actually been working on since you saw it last. So I've mainly got this main floor up here finished, and area is going to be for the gunship over here, and then we've got the steps here, and if you lift this step up, there's access to the switch in here, but that's going to need to be fastened more accurately. I think I might have an update coming out for you on Sunday, which will go into like the building process on all of this. I'm actually got the time lapse going on over here with my camera. You might be able to see the tripod in the shot. So if that's got a clicking noise, that might be what it is. Actually, I might be able to switch off the clicking noise, get it on the silent shutter. I'll see if I can just figure that out. Now, I can't exactly remember how to do it, so I just have to leave it. I don't want to make this too much dead air. So, I think it's about time to start some building. So, I'll just spin this back around so you can actually see what I'm going to be working on. But before I start, we may as well see who is in the chat. See H2 Brick. Hello there, H2 Brick. And we've got Legological, of course. Raven Bricks, hello to you as well. So yes, I just put the gunship up here as well, just to show you how that's going to integrate into the MOC. So the gunship's going to go around here. It fits fairly well. I would have liked to have made it a bit bigger, but really this MOC is already pushing the amount of bricks I've got in my collection. So I've tried to optimise my bricks as much as possible, but that is what it's looking like at the moment. Let's move this over here. So I've got to tar these sections first, so I can have the plates running straight up to it. So 1x4. Let's get my tiles out here. I do need to be careful not to use too many of these light bluish grey tiles, because I'm already running short on them as well. And as I've said in some of the updates, I have already made quite a lot of brick links for this MOC. So I don't want to use up too... I don't want to order any more, really. Can you all hear me all right again? I just want to make sure, because the position and the building. Is it all fine? Kylo Bricks asks, is your sig fig inspired by Doctor Who? I'll just switch over to the other camera so you can have a look at it. So this is my sig fig here. I'd say sort of. This is using the Fantastic Beasts torso. I'm not a massive Harry Potter fan at all. I've only watched a couple of the films, and I watched Fantastic Beasts only, but I did like this torso quite a lot, and I suppose it is inspired by Doctor Who, because I'm a big fan of Doctor Who, although I'm a bit conflicted, I suppose you say, about Jodie Whittaker. And also her costume as well. I'm not a big fan of that at all. I do much prefer the sort of traditional costumes which we've had, especially for Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi. Just getting some plates out now from a drawer over on the side. I think, yeah, these are going to work all right. just putting these plates along the front, and as I've already said, but you may, for new people, this area is studs not on top, but then this is all going to be facing upwards. I just wanted the sort of change of elevation to add some different textures, although I am going to try and tile this area over here, so I think that's quite important for Kamino. Thomas Vottrell saying the video is too light. Yeah, it may be slightly overexposed. I'll just shut my blind here, maybe that'll help a little bit. It's quite difficult because there's no way to adjust the exposure on the camera which I'm using to record the live stream. Is that better, Sam Vottrell? Is that better? Jiffman saying great Lego water. Well, that's quite interesting. I'm quite happy with it, but I had a few people on, would have been Camino Update 2, saying that they thought the water was too dark. But I actually think personally that it does need to be on the darker side to fit for Camino, because when we see it, it's always at night time and the water is really dirty. And that was one reason why I wanted to order these pieces, because I didn't want to do it in like a blue or even a dark blue colour. It just wouldn't look dark enough and fit the Camino. But anyway, continuing with the building. I'm just using white plates here for no reason. These are filler bricks, just because I've got quite a lot of these, the white plates. Now, an issue I've got to figure out here is this section. I can't have any plates, full plates on here, because these, the 1x4s with the studs on the side, the studs on the top jut out slightly, and I couldn't put that in the same level. So that's going to be an issue, but I'll figure something out of that, hopefully, in the update. Just take a few more questions now. Jiffman is asking where you bought the clones. So the Commander Wolf here, this one's from Clone Army Customs, and the Commander Cody, which is over here, this one's from Minifigs for You, which is Solid Brick Studios company. He does have this jetpack, I think, that you see him wearing in the show, which I added to him fairly recently, and that's from Clone Army Customs. And then he's got a Brick Arms blaster. I definitely think they're the best custom clone blasters that you can get. This helmet here for Waxer, this is from Clone Army Customs, and so are the visor as well. So hopefully that does answer your question. Especially being in the UK, it can be quite expensive to order, so that's why I don't have too many. And when I have ordered, I've ordered quite a lot of them at the same time. So it's a bit frustrating. I wish, even at conventions, you never hardly ever see anybody selling the Clone Army Custom stuff. I did see the Brick Arms blasters at a convention once, but they only had the pack of the Star Wars ones, not the individual blasters. So that was a bit frustrating. But still, let's continue on. So I think just get some more tiles out. I need to see whether a 2 plate thickness is going to be enough to make this level. It's not quite level. About 3. Just throwing something together right now just to test. As I said, I think in some of the updates I haven't done too much planning for this MOC, so I'm definitely going in a little bit blind, but it does make it more fun, I find often. So I am going to have a slight lip here because there's no real way to get around that. I'm just trying to... Yeah, I'm probably going to go over slightly, so I'll have 2 thickness of plates, so I need to start stacking these plates up slightly. I need a brick separator. BJN says, do you think the battle packs we are getting should not include stud shooters? I definitely agree with that. I really do not like the stud shooters. I'll see if I can see here. I'll just switch over to the other camera just for a moment. You can see here I've got quite a sizable collection of these stud shooters. It's not the biggest one. There's plenty bigger ones on YouTube. I've also got the spare, you know, the spring shooted, the spring missiles in there as well. Yeah, it's really frustrating me because they're completely inaccurate in every single way to the film. I really wish they wouldn't include them. I totally understand why they do include them. You know, it adds that extra play feature because sometimes the battle packs, I guess it's quite hard to integrate extra play features into it. So if you're using the stud shooters, you've already got one there, just inherent to the line of sets. But for collectors, older fans, it can be quite frustrating, and it does mean that you then have to go and, you know, buy the Brick Arms blasters or buy the classic Lego Star Wars blasters off Bricklink or something, and that's obviously a lot more expensive, even though they are cheap, of course, but you know, it's still more expensive than if they would just include them. So I think I'm going to have to stack these plates up here, which is going to be a little difficult because this surface here is not that solid. It could break away, and I don't particularly want that to happen on the stream especially. So I think I might have to build this over on the side and then move it up onto the MOC. Yeah, I definitely agree with you, H2 Brick. Definitely, to me, they almost feel I think, on par with Lego quality. Maybe even as high quality as Lego. I definitely agree with you on that one. Jiffman says, please can you make a World War II MOC? I love World War II Lego. Well, I definitely really like some of the MOCs you see out there for Lego World War II. I do quite like the error in terms of its aesthetic for building with Lego. The only issue is, for me, I really don't have the collection to be able to accommodate and build anything for Lego World War II. It'd be quite expensive for me because I'd have to order all the minifigures. I think I'd maybe have like 1 or 2 soldiers that I could scrap together. But it could be something I'd look at in the future. Maybe something more likely is, you know how we had Wonder Woman, which was set in... set in World War I, wasn't it, Wonder Woman? But a similar time frame, or a film, you know, similar to one of the superhero films set in World War II. I could build a MOC for that. That would be more likely, but I've not got any plans for that in the near future. CO Clone Commander. How long did it take you to get into Rebel Lug? I'd say maybe. I think it was about a year doing my YouTube channel. I think it was around the time I was doing Starkiller Base. I'm just now trying to remember whether or not that was when I had. That was a year from when I'd started. You'd have to go and look at the dates of the video. But I probably should get back to building. Also, actually. No. Just got to check this is going to fit, so I don't have to change it. Yep. So that's that one done. That's interesting. The issue with this MOC is I'm having, because of this curved shaping here, the whole MOC, at least this front end, wants to slant down to accommodate for that, which is quite frustrating. So, yeah, it's going to be something that may cause a couple of issues. And this front section here has already fallen off a couple of times, so it's quite frustrating. I've got it attached with just hinge pieces at the top. I couldn't figure out any better way to do that. And also, if it does break, it's quite hard to fix, because you can imagine this whole stud section does not come off very easily because it's integral to the whole structure of the MOC. You can remove the steps and put your hand all the way through and fix it up, so that's quite difficult. But now moving on to this second section over here. So if you've just joined, I'm hopefully in this stream I'm working on this front section here, hopefully going to get this all tiled and then ready to build the pillars. Hello there, First Author Lego. Very glad you can join. We've got LeoTube in the chat. Hello. We've got Anakin Skywalker in the chat, obviously. Build it faster. Yes, I'll try and get back to building. Actually, good point. Just getting my 1x plates out. There we go. Oh no, some reason I thought that was odd, but no, it's even, so made a mistake there. Just pop that in. Now what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to build some pieces for this part, but just go right up to the 1x4s here, and then I think I'm going to use, these parts here just to make this gap as small as possible. Although the pillars are going to go over that, so that might be slightly unnecessary. So I'll probably just go up as far as I can before it's not going to fit, and then just go from there probably. Massive thanks for everybody who's watching live at the moment, and also anybody who's watching after the fact. Something which I was a little bit something which I was a little bit frustrated with is, you know, the new battle packs that are coming out. Is it April with the Clone Troopers, Barriss Offee and Ki-Adi-Mundi? I don't actually have those Jedi, so that is quite good for me. But originally, I remember there was some leaked image with the Phase 2 troopers instead of the Phase 1s. And if it was Phase 2, that would be really great, because the only way to get like a plain Phase 2 clone trooper at the moment is with that one microfight. Oh, sees we have.
Here you go, Brickden.
We just had a strange visiting from the mini build. He's brought me some water. Thank you very much. But anyway, yeah, where was I? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I wish they'd done the Phase 2 troopers instead of the Phase 1 troopers, because I think they were pretty difficult to get, but obviously the Clone Wars Phase 1 troopers were in high abundance, so it would have been nice, and I do prefer the Phase 2, but I'm sure one day we'll get a battle pack with the Phase 2 troopers. It just might take a while. I'm going to have to do something a little bit different on this final one. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna not go right to up to the brick, because it seems a little bit unnecessary if the pillars are just gonna cover it. So there we go. Now, a while back, actually, before I started the gunship, I ordered these pieces to go up along the edge here, so I probably should start implementing that now, although I'm going to leave that because I'm not sure what I'm doing with this edge here, so I'll probably leave that for now, but I'm put a plate along there just for them to go on at a later date. So I'm starting to, actually, I might change this so this layer is the tiles instead of that, because at the moment when I'm looking at it, I think just because this is being pulled slightly downwards by this front section, when I put the tile on it, it's going to look too elevated above. Because see, I can almost stick it onto this plate and it's on top of this floor, and I kind of want it to be as flush as possible. So I'll just actually, what I'll do is I'll change this section and see what that looks like, and then go from there. See if there's any more messages in the chat. BJN, yes, I definitely agree. Curving go is always hard, especially here as well, where it's curving downwards and on such a large scale. And this whole curve up here is really challenging to implement. You know, if I put too much pressure on this is all just going to collapse. I can secure it a little bit more, so I need to make sure not too much pressure goes onto that. So Camino has been quite a challenge in that respect. I think for this front section, I'm just going to do light bluish grey tiles instead of brick separator. Light bluish grey tiles instead of dark bluish grey. Well, I do want to integrate a little bit of a pattern, so I'm just going to go and have a look at the... Actually, no, I'll just... what I'll do is I'll just test it out for now and then come up with a more formal pattern in a little bit. First of all, the Lego says, what's your plan with the top part? I'm thinking I'm just going to mirror what I've done on the bottom part. So obviously I'm going to have the walls here with the, where did I put that? With the pillars, which are going to look something like this, obviously a lot more finished off. So pillar here, half a pillar here, half a pillar here, and then it'll jut out like that, so it'll have an overhang around this part as well. This is going to be a curved wall over here, and so it's pretty much just going to mirror the top onto the bottom, and then that'll come up all the way over the top. And I think I'm going to do the top again, studs not on top. That's going to be quite, it's going to consume a lot of my parts, so I do need to be careful not to use them all. It's going to be very close, I reckon, this MOC, if I'm going to actually be able to manage it or not, but hopefully I'll find some way, whether that means I'll have to cut back on the size of the roof or something like that, but I'm sure I'll manage to figure something out. And if it really comes to it and I have to order more parts, I will do so. But as I've already said, I've had to order quite a lot of parts for this MOC, and I don't like to just, you know, order to get out of any difficult problem I have. I have to. Part of it is problem solving as well that makes Lego interesting. Because of course, if you had all the money in the world, all the parts in the world, you could pretty much build anything. It's just the only question then is time. And of course, that's what you're always fighting against when do anything like Lego or painting or anything like that, is time. And then talent does come into it and skill, but I suppose skill can sort of be gained, but time is always an issue, and so is parts. So I've just changed that to tiles instead, and I think if I put light blue grey up against it here, that's going to work a lot better. Ghost of Basala said, am I going to build any more vehicles? For this MOC, something I'll let you into is, I was originally planning to build like a Venator, like not a minifig scale Venator, but one like slightly bigger than the set that was released 2008, I think, and that was going to go just above the platforms. But this was before I decided to change what the MOC was, and I've now switched to doing the hangar instead of the platforms, because the Venator was sort of going to be in the background of the platforms and sort of going to be a false perspective. But in the end, my plan for that MOC was a little bit too ambitious, and I have made the mistake before of being too ambitious, so I just decided to cut back this time. Definitely do the gunship, because that's probably my favourite Star Wars vehicle, and then maybe leave the Venator for later, maybe do it later in the year, or just leave it for a while and come back to it eventually, because I would like to build a more accurate one than the set we've got, because really, if you look at it, it's out of proportion quite a bit. So I'll have to definitely consider that. If you want to see it, I'll consider it more highly. But I have got some more I think I've got some plans in the works that are definitely more likely to happen, and that I want to build more in the near future. I do know what I'm going to be doing after Kamino, although I don't think I'm going to reveal that quite yet, because it always could change, because I always change my mind, and I don't like to commit to stuff when I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to do it, because I always don't really like to announce stuff unless I've properly started building it. And then even then, in the case of Thunderbird 2, started building it, got part way through it, and then just thought, this is not going to happen. I haven't got the bricks for this. I haven't got the driving passion to, because when you need bricks for something, you really have to want to build it to justify ordering the parts. And I just wasn't there with Thunderbird 2. So I try and only announce something when I'm building it, because if I commit to something, if you announce it, you're sort of committing to the MOC, which is not a good thing in my case, at least. I am aware that I haven't made too much progress, and I was planning to end this at 4 o'clock, which is in about 10 minutes, but because I started a little bit late, I'll probably go to about 10 past the hour, so we've got about 20 minutes left of the stream approximately. I was hoping to make a little bit more progress, but I've found that trying to talk and build at the same time is pretty challenging and occupies quite a lot of time on its own. So unfortunately I haven't made too much progress, but for the update that should come out on Sunday, I will have made some more progress from this point. Of course, this is actually quite a lot of progress since the last update, so hopefully by that update the MOC will have progressed from this point. just getting the tiles in. I don't want to completely tile all of it with the light bluish grey tiles because I want some sort of pattern going on. It will be quite simple, but I'll look into that more. But I'm just sort of getting some basic tiles into place because I do want it to all look quite sleek. If I overcomplicate this MOC and make it over detailed, I think it'll lose the simplicity of Kamino. But that doesn't mean just because it looks simple that the techniques used aren't simple, and that's what I'm trying to aim for with this one at least. I'll take another question in the chat in just a moment, just when I've finished this little section. Yeah, I think that's much better than this two layered. It fits. It's like a tiny little lip. If I run my finger along there, it does go up, but it's fitting together much better. BJN said Lego's job with Star Destroyers isn't to make them size accurate, but if Lego did make a minifigure size to scale Star Destroyer, it would be pretty expensive. That's not really what I was trying to get across. Maybe I didn't articulate it very well, but what I meant is that like the proportions of the actual set are wrong for its size. I mean, if you look at it in comparison to reference pictures of it, it's pretty inaccurate. The one I would build would not be minifig scale. It would be around the same size as the set, if not a tad bit bigger. But my aim with it was just to get the proportions correct. Of course, then you may not be able to integrate an interior or anything like that. But for the purpose of the MOC, that wouldn't be really what I would be interested in. Get this all into place now. In general, this MOC is taking a lot longer than I did expect it to. I was expecting to have it probably done by now, actually. But unfortunately, at the last minute, I decided to change it into the hanger, and it's made it quite a little bit more complicated. So it's taking more time in general to finish. But hopefully I should have it done, maybe 2 more updates I reckon we'll have it done. Or maybe like what I did with the Arkham, I'll make the 4th update like a big, massive update that makes loads of progress. Because I don't really like to go over the 2 updates, for the 4 update amount for the update series. Because just after that, hardly any progress is happening each update. And I like to actually feel like there's a reason to watch the updates. It actually feels like the MOC is progressing and not just nothing's happening in a way. So hopefully I will have an update for you this Sunday, and you'll get to see all the time lapse. And of course do have the camera at the moment time lapsing what I'm building, but I'm not making too much progress. I'm not working as fast as I would be if I wasn't talking. But still, I've made a fair little bit of progress in an hour. Just remove this part. Just made a mistake. I'll take a moment there. There we go. Let's take a few more questions from the chat. Hello to Thomas Bricks. Are you just joining now, or have you been in the chat for a while? If so, thanks a lot for joining the stream. Seems the mini builder has returned. What do you want, mini builder? He says he wants to answer a question. Does anybody have any questions for the mini builder in the chat? Come in, mini builder. I'll just switch it over to the other camera. Does anyone have any questions? Stay there. Does anyone stay there? Stay there. Does anyone have any questions for the mini builder? Team Skills Vlog says, what's your favourite mock? Now, this could be a question for me, I suppose, but I guess you can answer it, can't you? What's your favourite mock that I've built, would you say?
Your Thunderbird house one.
Let me just move the mic, I'm not sure if they can hear you. Speaking to the mic.
The Thunderbird house one.
So he's talking about the Thunderbirds mock, which I built a long time ago now. You might not be able to remember it, but you quite like Thunderbirds, don't you? So maybe that's why you go with that one. So yeah, I probably should continue building now. So thanks a lot, mini builder. Okay. So I think we'll just continue with the stream for about another 10 minutes or so. Hope I just have another question myself. First Order Lego says, can I join the mini builder's lug? I don't know about that one. You'll have to ask my brother, who is the mini builder. There's lots of questions now for the mini builder. I'll try and get him back. Mini builder, we've got some more questions for you. Sorry about that. They said, do you help the brick den a lot? Who said that question? Team Skills Vlogs again asked, do you help the brick den a lot?
Not really.
Come over here so I can't see you over there. He says, not really. Well, you don't really, you just like to come on the videos, don't you? You just like to hijack my YouTube channel whenever you want to get on YouTube, pretty much, isn't it? Yeah, doesn't help me with building at all. You have, how many Lego sets do you have? You have walling and that's about it, don't you?
Yeah, I did have more, but I used to
did have more,
to
but
you.
I've stolen them all. So yeah. Off you pop then, really, but right. COC Clone Commander says, what do you think about people being in multiple lugs? I'll take this question. I think it was meant to the mini builder, but you probably won't have any idea what that means. I think it's fine. I don't have an issue with it. I mean, maybe multiple online lugs is a bit unnecessary because you can't devote your time to one lug. You have to split it. But if it's talking like a local lug or, you know, a club in your town or city or whatever, and then you're on an online lug as well, I think that's fine. Multiple online lugs, I think that's possibly questionable, but I think that's more of a question for the individual. And I mean, lugs can have certain policies, but I think that's a question for the individual, whether you're willing to be able to manage your time, to be able to commit to both lugs, do collabs for both lugs, that type of thing. I think I'm being quite precautious at the moment because I don't have that many of these tiles, so I'm trying to, I mean, it's a bit silly because I've got to tile this, but I could end up with an issue where I've got to take all this back up because I've run out of these tiles. An issue I'm going to have, another issue, is that because I've done this all studs not on top, when I come to set up all the minifigures, position all the scenarios and things like that, I'm going to have an issue where if I want to put anybody in a running position or any sort of dynamic moving position, they're of course just going to fall over. So I will have to take some of this up, put the stud knot on top bricks in there, or put the jumper plates on this section, which is quite annoying, but I don't like to have to think about that and all the structure elements while I'm actually putting the mock together. I like to finish the mock and then think, where am I going to put the people, and try and take it apart, I suppose. But it's not too bad. You just have to be quite nimble with how you take it apart. Let's see if there's any more questions. Boba Fett Brick says, bye. Thanks for joining the stream, Boba Fett Bricks. Thanks a lot. Wait. I've just seen this for. I'm just going on to the other camera. I've just seen this for the first time. Oh, I think what First Order Lego is saying that we've become a Rebel Lug. This has become a. Look, just load up Discord. I didn't see your message a second ago, Luke. So sorry about that. Let's have a look. I don't want to jump the gun. Yeah, we have become a recognised lug, Rebel Lug. Wow, that's excellent. Yes, so if you don't know what that means, it basically means that Rebel Lug has now become recognised by the official Lego group, and so maybe you can't hear me, sorry. And so in turn, basically we can get Lug Ball, which is very exciting, although I'm not sure how it's going to work when we're international. Maybe it'll get sent to one location, but we'll see about that. But that's still excellent. That's excellent news to be announced on the stream as well. So I didn't notice that at first, Luke. I just wasn't paying much attention. I missed your message. So we've got about 5 more minutes on the stream. So I think to end the stream, I'll just answer any final questions you might have in the chat before we just end up the stream. Just to see if I've missed anything. I'll try and get the mic a little bit closer so you can hear me a little bit better. So let's have a look. So yes, just send in your final questions, please. Send in your final question, please. So BJN says, do you watch Solid Brick Studios? Yes, I do. I do like his videos quite a lot. He's pretty good mock builder, I'd say. Although I think sometimes his mocks can get slightly overhyped, but that's the same for anybody really. But he has loads of subscribers, and he definitely deserves that amount of subscribers. And also the fact that he builds these mocks and he gets so many views, it only helps the rest of the community really. Do you play Fortnite? Well, I have played Fortnite, but I don't play it regularly. I'm not particularly good at it. Although the mini builder, in fact, he likes Fortnite quite a lot more than I do. What's your least favourite Star Wars movie? Attack of the Clones. Yeah, Attack of the Clones. After that, that's difficult. After that, no, I like all the others. I can't say Phantom Menace or Revenge of the Sith. I actually like those equally. which is quite strange, I know. A lot of people will always say Revenge of the Sith, it's the best of the prequels, but I put Phantom Menace up there for me. Attack of the Clones. What I like about Revenge of the Sith and what I like about Episode 1, it's just not in Attack of the Clones, so that's definitely the worst for me. My favourite, that's difficult. I probably don't have a favourite. At some points I've said Revenge of the Sith, actually. But I don't know about that anymore. At some points I said Episode 7. Some points I said Rogue One. So my favourites, I'd say Rogue One, Episode 7, Episode 4, and Episode 3. They're my favourites, and then the others filter into the rest of the list. How tall was the Citadel Tower? This is another question by BJN, and thanks a lot, BJN, for all the questions. I can't remember if I actually measured it. I might have done, actually, but to give you an idea, in my room, it pretty much, if it was any taller, would have touched the ceiling. And my room, like a door's height, it's like 20 centimetres higher than the door, so it's not a particularly high ceiling. And the table's just the standard, the IKEA legs, and then the table. So it's one of the smaller Citadel Towers that you've seen out there on the internet. It's a lot smaller than Chris Productions, a lot smaller than Rich Boy Jay's. But I sort of, as I said, with what I wanted to do with the Venator class, just try and build it in proportion. And bye to First Order Legos. Thank you for coming on the stream, and thanks for that news update about the lug. That is excellent. I'll have a bit more of a detailed look at that once the stream is over. Will you upload the stream afterwards from Fordo Productions? Yeah, I'm planning to. I haven't streamed before, so I'll have to look into that. But I think it goes up automatically, so yes. Team Skills Vlog says, how many MOCs have you built, have I built? That's an impossible question. Impossible question. Because on YouTube, ones I've got on the internet, you could probably count them up. I can't remember off the top of my hand. I don't want to go and count them up right now. But then before that, I was building loads of MOCs. Probably not as frequently, actually. Once I've started my YouTube channel, especially last year, I built a lot of MOCs. I think last year was the year I built the most MOCs in one year, I think. Yeah, so there's no way for me to answer that question. I could actually figure it out, I suppose, because I think I've got photos of all of them, so I could go back and count them up, but like 50 plus, probably. What's your favourite Batman movie from David's Bricks Films? I did say this on the Q&A. Well, I didn't answer that directly. I said, what's my favourite movie of all time? Which is Batman Begins, and therefore that must also be my favourite Batman movie. Second, The Dark Knight. Third, Dark Knight Rises. Fourth, I'm going live action films because obviously got all the animated ones, but it's quite difficult to rank them with the live action ones. Fourth, I'd probably say Batman vs Superman, probably, yeah. And then after that, I'd go Batman Forever. Then after that, on pure entertainment factor, Batman and Robin. Because it doesn't sort of fit, what you'd want from a normal Batman film. If that came out today, there'd be a lot of uproar, and it was a lot of uproar back then as well, and I can understand it's not a great film whatsoever, but I find it very, very funny. And then if we go further back to Tim Burton's films, I'm not a big fan of them at all, to be honest. I mean, I watched the Dark Knight trilogy before, so maybe that's why I affect, because I know a lot of people really like those films, really hold them in high esteem. But for me, they just didn't do anything for me whatsoever. Just watched them and I just thought, I got no emotional response from them. So maybe if someone in the chat is a really big fan of those films, maybe explain to me why they like it so much, and maybe I'll be able to see something in it on my next viewing. I've only seen those films once each, so maybe I need to watch them again, revisit them, see what I'm missing. But I've seen the Dark Knight trilogy over and over again. Batman Begins I've seen the most. Dark Knight, I've probably seen Dark Knight Rises an equal amount. Dark Knight Rises is definitely the weakest of the trilogy, but I still absolutely love that film. Christopher Nolan is my favourite director. I love all of his films that I've seen. Batman Begins is definitely my favourite. I really loved Dunkirk, which just came out in the last year. And on someone's question earlier, would I build a World War II mock? I considered building something from Dunkirk. It's just really I don't have the minifigures and I don't have the collection to really approach that, but it may be something in the future. H says hello. Hello H. Fortunately the stream is going to end probably in the next minute or so. I'll probably take one more question or one more subject and then end the stream off. This won't be the last thing, but Team Skills Vlogs says Inception. I do absolutely love Inception. It's one of my favourite films. Really, really love that one. I love Christopher Nolan's style in general. It's very hard for me to not like one of his films, or probably my least favourite of his films on a pretty critical level would be Dark Knight Rises, but on more of an emotional response level, because I was such a big Batman fan, it's hard for me to say that that's my least favourite of his films, just purely for my love of Batman. What do you think will be your last mock from BJN? And this will be the last question, or maybe one of the last questions. That's an impossible question, really. I mean, how can I answer that question? I can't look into the future. What would be? I think maybe my ultimate mock that I'd ever build, and that I never want to build anything after. Maybe, like, as I said in the Q&A, what would be my dream mock? Something like Coruscant, like a massive Coruscant mock, as big as as big as a tennis court or something, or Gotham similarly, as big as a tennis court, like a massive city mock with tons of detail, tons of different levels. That would, if I ever built that, I just think I've done it, you know. Or just expand to that forever and ever. That would probably, if I'd ever have a last mock, that would probably be what it was. Rich Boy J says, can't stay, but just want to say I love your Camino mock so far. Oh, thanks a lot. I'm really enjoying your crate update series. That's been excellent so far, and definitely one of the better update series on YouTube at the moment. And if you haven't seen his videos, you probably all have, but definitely go and check him out. He's left a message in the stream, so you can go and click on that and go and check out his channel. Great videos, great, and excellent mock. I can't wait to see how that turns out. And he did a Scarif mock last year, which was, and he built the Citadel Tower similar to what I did, and much bigger than mine and a lot better, frankly, but still excellent mock and excellent YouTube channel. Do you classify yourself as a nerd? And I will take this as the last question. I realise I said this is definitely the last one. It's a difficult question. I don't know what the dictionary definition is. One moment. Camera's just died. So back to Boba Fett Brix's question. Do you classify yourself as a nerd? I don't know what the dictionary definition of a nerd is, but I think a nerd is someone who's extremely academically capable, and then a geek is someone more interested in pop culture. I think that's the correct definition. I suppose probably I never really think about it, to be honest. I'd probably say so. If someone called me a nerd, I would not have a problem with it. Or if someone called me a geek, I would not have a problem with it. I could accept that I am, and I'd probably class myself as both of them, to be honest. But I do think that does bring this stream to an end. I thank you all so much for joining me this afternoon, or whatever time you are watching, whatever country you are watching from. I hope I've not had too many technical difficulties that I haven't noticed. I hope the stream has run quite smoothly. This is my first time doing it, so it's been quite a learning experience for me, but hopefully it's turned out fine. Definitely stay tuned for this Sunday, where I should have the next Camino update, where you'll see some actual proper substantial progress to the MOC. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to make any progress really today. It's just been very difficult trying to communicate with you in the chat and build at the same time, but I made a little bit of progress, and hopefully giving you a better insight into my building process, and for you to see it real time as well. It's hopefully been quite interesting. But for now, I do thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.